arrested after attacking a food delivery person in Milford, a shooting in Ansonia, and outrage over an essay contest on white privilege. Frank Granito will have a look at the forecast and a Nutmeg sports update later on, and Donald Eng will join us to take a look back on this day in history. But first, the Valley Independent Sentinel reports that a 27-year-old man was shot several times in Ansonia Tuesday night. The shooting occurred around 8:30 in the area of Union and State Streets near the YMCA. Police did not identify the victim. Police said the man was shot several times in the torso. A private car took the victim to the hospital. He was then transferred to Yale New Haven for further treatment. The Valley Indy reports that his condition was unknown, but you can look for updates at valleyindy.org. And in other news, a second juvenile has been arrested in connection with the carjacking and assault of a food delivery person on January 26 on Noble Avenue in Milford. Police said the boy is from Bridgeport and was taken into custody on Friday. Police did not disclose his age, but the first boy arrested was 14 years old. In addition to being charged with carjacking and assault, the second boy received a charge in Stamford, where police said he damaged a Milford police vehicle by kicking out the rear window while being placed under arrest. As we reported yesterday, a food delivery driver was attacked Thursday night while making a delivery. According to a Noble Avenue resident, that delivery man from Fuji Restaurant opened her front door Thursday night around 9 and asked for help. The man was covered in blood. Police arrived and the driver told them he was delivering food when he was attacked and his delivery car and cell phone stolen. Police later said that the driver had been hit in the head with a blunt object. And a Darien woman was hit by a car while crossing West Avenue on Monday morning just before 6 in the morning. According to Sergeant Jeremiah Marin of the Darien Police Department, the woman was walking northbound on Hollow Tree Ridge Road and was in the crosswalk crossing West Avenue. The woman, described as in her 50s, was wearing a variety of reflective gear, including sneakers and outerwear, as well as wearing blinking lights. A car driven by a male resident of New Canaan was traveling southbound on Hollow Tree Ridge Road and struck the woman with the front end of his car. He said the woman was knocked to the ground and taken to the hospital for minor injuries. The New Canaan man was given a ticket for failing to yield to a pedestrian. And U.S. Senator Chris Murphy held an oversized photograph Monday night on the floor of the U.S. Senate of two little girls caught in the midst of a presidential executive order that bans travel to the United States from certain countries. The two little girls, ages 5 and 8, could be in Milford with their father, Murphy said. Instead, they've been banned entry to the country. Murphy demanded that Congress take immediate action to block President Donald Trump's harmful restriction on refugees and immigrants from certain Muslim-majority nations in Africa and the Middle East. The president last Friday afternoon approved that sweeping executive order that suspended entry of all refugees to the United States for 120 days, barring Syrian refugees indefinitely and barring refugees from other nations. That order impacted a Milford family, and earlier this week, Murphy contacted the family of Fadi Kazar, a Milford resident from Syria, to work to reunite Kazar with his family. You can get a lot more on that story at milfordmirror.com. And a Norwalk man has been accused of injuring a Stamford police officer and assaulting 2 others outside a downtown restaurant just days after he was caught burglarizing a Cove home, according to police. Witnesses told officers that 33-year-old Michael Fagan caused a disturbance at Bedford News and Variety, knocking over items in the store around 7 o'clock Monday. Fagan then assaulted a 58-year-old man and his 25-year-old son outside Brickhouse Bar and Grill on Bedford Street. Sergeant George Moran spotted Fagan, who ran when he saw the officer, according to police. Officers apprehended Fagan after a brief struggle in an alley behind 74 Bedford Street. The victims identified Fagan as the man who assaulted them. Fagan also injured an officer during the booking process. This was the second time in 3 days that Fagan was arrested in Stamford. He was arrested early Saturday morning when officers responded to a burglary alarm on Cove Road. Officer Mike Costello was checking the property when he spotted Fagan on the roof of the home. Officers surrounded the house and Fagan was taken into custody after he descended from the roof, according to police. And the Easton Office of the Fire Marshal is reminding residents to safely dispose of fireplace and wood stove ashes following an incident on Rock House Road. The Easton Fire Department responded on January 29th to Rock House Road for a report of a brush fire. Investigation revealed that improper disposal of fireplace ashes caused that blaze. It had the potential of burning down the barn, according to officials, and traveling up over the ridge into the woods. According to officials, it's hard to drag a fire hose for such a long distance. Firefighters had to drag the hose for about a 100-foot wide area heading into the woods. Fortunately, the homeowner made the call and firefighters responded in time to prevent some major damage. According to the fire marshal's office, this was the third time this winter season that they've responded to something involving fireplace ashes, and they're trying to stop that behavior. Just on Monday, a fire in Stratford was caused by fireplace ashes that were put into a plastic bag. Officials say make sure that when you are disposing of fireplace ashes that there are no hot spots left. This could be done by either soaking them in water or letting them sit for a few days if practical, and then double checking them for hot spots. Secondly, all ashes should be stored in a fire-resistant metal container with a tight-fitting cover. They should never be disposed of in plastic garbage bags, a can, a cardboard box, or a paper grocery bag. And the timing of yesterday's snowfall led to a lot of problems on local roads. State police say in total they responded to 114 accidents yesterday and provided 22 motorist assists. Today, they're reminding everyone to clean all the snow and ice off of your car or you could be subject to a fine. Always good to keep in mind. But let's switch gears now. Speaking of snow, we're going to throw it over to Frank Granito for a look at the forecast. Frank, no snow today.
And the good news, Kate, with the sun out there, a lot of the snow on top of those cars should start to melt off. But breezy and chilly out today. There will be a high of 43 degrees with wind gusts that could reach up to 35 miles per hour. Intervals of sun and clouds through the early afternoon before seeing mostly clear skies overnight and a low of 26 heading into Thursday. More of the same on Thursday with mostly sunny skies again during the day. Cooler temperatures as the expected high is only 37. Still pretty windy out with gusts between 15 to 25 miles per hour. Clear skies overnight, temperatures falling down into the mid-teens. Friday will be partly sunny with freezing temperatures, not as windy compared to Wednesday or Thursday, but it will feel much colder with a real temperature in the low 20s. Partly cloudy overnight on Friday as we head into what will be a cold Super Bowl weekend that could end with some more snowfall during the big game on Sunday afternoon. That's going to do it for this weather update. Let's send it back over to Kate.
Maybe that snowfall will give everyone a day off after Super Bowl Sunday. That would be nice.
Well,
Well, thanks so much, Frank. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, Donald Ang will take a look back on this day in history. Frank has your Nutmeg Sports Update, and we have more local news, including outrage over a white privilege essay contest in Westport. More on that when we come back after this.
It's all about meeting goals this year, and Trinity CrossFit of Ridgefield has experienced trainers, top-of-the-line equipment, and a newly renovated space to help get you there. Offering more classes per day than any other CrossFit gyms in the area, we cater to all fitness levels. Our coaches have a combined 10 years of experience in CrossFit, and as competitors themselves, Trinity coaches can get you ready for competition in 2017. Visit our convenient location on Route 7, Danbury Road, or find out more at trinitycrossfit.com.
Whether you're looking for the freshest seafood, the perfect steak, or want to share delicious appetizers, look no further than the Stone's Throw in Seymour. Chef Peter Hom has more than 30 years of experience creating original recipes in his American eclectic style. Our dishes are made from scratch with fresh, local ingredients that pair perfectly with a seasonal craft beer, a signature cocktail, or your favorite wine. When you visit our Riverside location, you'll feel like you're on vacation when you're only a stone's throw from home. Visit us on Roosevelt Drive in Seymour or at stonesthrowct.com. At the Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Discover a world of wellness in the heart of New Canaan. Halo Studios, New Canaan's first collaborative wellness center, offers you the freedom to choose from the best and latest health, fitness, and wellness options. Inside Halo Studios, you'll find all the wellness experts you need at places like Halo Fitness, Priority Wellness, and Sama Yoga Center. Come by for a free wellness assessment, open 7 days a week at 45 Grove Street. For more information, visit halostudios.com or call 203-594-9909.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier network. And we've also reached 1.7 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to this February 1st edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network, and it's time to throw it over to Donald Eng to take a look back on this day in history. Don.
Well, it was a big day for the internet, but first we go to 1884. The first volume, which was A to ANT, of the Oxford English Dictionary is published. Begun in 1857, the work was not completed until 1928. It is estimated that a single person would take 120 years to type in the 300,000 or so entries, and then another 60 years to proofread them all. Unlike normal dictionaries, the Oxford English uses historical usage and evolution of words. The longest entry in the dictionary for the verb set at 60,000 words. To 1964, the Beatles have their first #1 hit in the US, I Wanna Hold Your Hand. Considered the song that started the British invasion. It held the top spot in the polls for 7 weeks before being surpassed by their next single, She Loves You. 1968, the execution of Viet Cong officer Nguyen Van Lem by South Vietnamese police chief Nguyen Nuc Loan is photographed by Eddie Adams. The image helped build opposition to the Vietnam War. Adams has always been a defender of Loan. Minutes before, Lem had murdered 3 South Vietnamese officers and their families, with only a 10-year-old boy surviving. Loan would later emigrate to the United States, where he opened a pizza restaurant in Virginia Beach. He retired in 1991. Finally, now we go to 1996. Look at this.
A law that would mandate the production and availability of software filters so that parents could block out anything that they want to block out, which are freely available now, are fairly inexpensive. And if online services were required to provide them, that would be a good thing. But
do you need a law to encourage
no,
the
not really. No.
Now, you would disagree with that, Ms. Huffington. Why?
I would disagree for 2 reasons. First of all, I don't understand why we should merely require rather than mandate. If we believe that something is important, then why not use the power of government to regulate and mandate so that it is more likely that it should happen? Secondly, we all know very well that children can outwit their parents, especially on the internet. Children know much better how to use the internet and to surf the web than their parents.
That was Ariana Huffington arguing for greater government oversight over online publications. This was actually in response to the Communications Decency Act passed on this day in 1996. Congress made a comprehensive attempt to regulate pornographic material on the internet, which is why there's no porn online anymore. Almost the entire act was struck down the following year in the landmark Reno versus ACLU Supreme Court case. Much like we remember Tipper Gore for the explicit lyrics stickers on records, the Communications Decency Act's main legacy now are the maturity warnings that you see on adult websites. Well, you don't, but a lot of friends of yours probably do. Anyway, that is your look back in history for today, February 1st, and I'm Donald Eng.
All right, how enlightening. Thank you very much, Don. Well, back to local news. In Westport, a town-sponsored essay contest on white privilege has sparked outrage. The Associated Press reports that contest organizers have been surprised by the reaction from some who say the question wrongly suggests that race plays into the good life enjoyed in Westport. The contest put on by the town's Diversity Council asked students to describe the impact that white privilege has had on their lives using a term that refers generally to advantages conferred automatically dramatically to whites and not to minorities. The concept has moved into the mainstream as the nation has discussed race more openly. The chairman of the Diversity Council, Harold Bailey Jr., told the Associated Press that in addition to the chatter in town, people as far away as Singapore have weighed in online. Bailey said there's a lot more controversy around it than many of us expected. He said just the fact that it says white and privilege, for some people, that's all they need to see, and all of a sudden, we're race baiting or trying to get people to feel guilty. Bailey said that's not at all what this is about. Like other New York City suburbs on Connecticut's shoreline, Westport ranks among the country's wealthiest places. Its median family income tops $150,000, and it's home to the world's largest hedge fund, Bridgewater Associates. As of the 2010 census, its 26,000 residents were also 93% white. But let's switch gears and throw it back over to Frank Granito for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. Of course, there were obviously a lot of postponements yesterday due to the weather. Here's a list of games that were originally scheduled for yesterday that are to be made up this afternoon or tonight. Starting with boys basketball, all of the following games will be played at 7 p.m., starting with Greenwich at Trumbull, Danbury at Stamford, Trinity Catholic at McMahon, Central at Ludlow, Ward at Darien, Norwalk at New Canaan, and West Hill at Staples. For girls basketball, New Canaan will be playing at Norwalk at 5:30, Staples at West Hill at 5:30, McMahon is at Trinity at 5:45, Ludlow at Central at 5:45, Ridgefield at Wilton, Trumbull at Greenwich, Stamford at Danbury, and Darien at Ward will all be played at 7 p.m. Don't forget that it is now February, so it is championship month here on the HAN Network. Our championship coverage starts tomorrow afternoon. We'll have the track and field FCAC championship at 4:30 from the Floyd Little Athletic Center up at Hill House. And of course, Kate, today is National Signing Day around the country. We have a great look at Darien's Andrew Stuber, the future Michigan Wolverine, who was seen downtown at the Sugar Bowl with Jim Harbaugh, the head coach of the Wolverines, and Donnie Brown, the defensive coordinator for Michigan. Congratulations again to Andrew, who signed with Michigan back on June 25th. Kevin Coleman and I will have a full breakdown of all the top Connecticut football players where they will be pursuing their collegiate careers this afternoon on Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock. That'll do it for this Nutmeg Sports Update. Let's send it back over to Kate.
All right, very cool. Thanks so much, Frank. In other news, Darien police are searching for a man suspected of tampering with an ATM machine at Fairfield County Bank on January 20th and 21st. The bank contacted police on the 24th after reviewing surveillance footage of the ATM. Video taken around 5:45 on January 20th showed a man wearing a dark jacket, sunglasses, and a baseball hat, attempting to attach a card reader device to the ATM. He was apparently unsuccessful in his attempt and left the scene. However, he returned the following day and made several transactions with different cards, withdrawing between $2,500 and $3,000. Police believe the suspect was using previously stolen card information to make those withdrawals and are still investigating the case. And in other Darien news, an application for a redesigned Norotan Heights shopping center began its public hearing process before the Planning and Zoning Commission last week. Led by Palmer's Market, the new development would transform the existing strip shopping center into a mixed-use development with retail shopping, office space, and apartments. One of the project's goals is to give the Norotan Heights area a new sense of place by redeveloping the area in the style of a village. This would include new public plaza spaces and a complete restructuring of the shopping center's traffic flow. Representatives for the shopping center have said the new village would have a pedestrian focus and seeks to capitalize on the proximity of the Norotan Heights train station. There's more on that at DarienTimes.com. And yesterday's weather did not stop a local protest by Milford Speaks Out last night. Check out this video from Milford Mirror editor Jill Dion.
The group Milford Speaks Out gathered Tuesday night in front of Milford City Hall.
We're here in support of our Muslim community, and I don't know if people in Milford are aware, but we have quite a significant Muslim community here. And we also are hoping that our city will officially declare Milford as a sanctuary city.
Thanks so much to Jill for that video, and you can get more on that protest at milfordmirror.com. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today on your coffee break after this.
On time, done right, safe and reliable. MrHandymanCT.com. Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
MrHandymanCT.com.
Have a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Basketball, hockey, skiing, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
While there's still a bite out on the water, most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Want to reach new heights in your fitness and health goals? Find what you're looking for at Elevation Spin, Train, and TRX in Georgetown, Connecticut. Elevation Spin gives you purposeful spinning workouts inspired by the road. We encourage monitoring of heart rate and energy zones. Elevation also offers customized personal training with dedicated professionals passionate about helping you reach your goals. And let us motivate you to reach greater performance and functionality with TRX suspension training, using your own body weight for an incredible dynamic workout. Located at 4 Old Mill Road in Georgetown, call Elevation at 203-544-9503 or visit elevationspintraintrx.com for more.
Want a new experience in car buying? No aggravation, no confrontation, just answers to all your questions. Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Car buying the way you want it to be. With one of the largest selections of new 2- and 4-door Jeep Wranglers available, we are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Located in Fairfield, Connecticut, we're easy to get to. Just 2.5 miles off the Merritt Parkway, exit 44 via Route 58 South. Save thousands right now during the Start Something New sales event, now through January 31st.
I'm Frank Granito.
And I'm Donald Ng for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Thursday, where we bring you all the top stories from Connecticut sports.
From highlights to player interviews and expert analysis, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, now Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network.
We're back on this Wednesday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today, including that the Valley Independent Sentinel reports a 27-year-old man was shot several times in Ansonia Tuesday night. That shooting occurred around 8:30 in the area of Union and State Streets near the YMCA. Police did not identify the victim. But police said the man was shot several times in the torso. A private car took the victim to the hospital. He was then transferred to Yale New Haven Hospital for further treatment. His condition was unknown. And a second juvenile has been arrested in connection with a carjacking assault of a food delivery person on January 26th on Noble Avenue in Milford. Police said the boy is from Bridgeport and was taken into custody on Friday. Police did not disclose his age, but the first boy arrested in that case was 14 years old. In addition to being charged with carjacking and assault in Milford, the second boy received a charge in Stamford, where police said he damaged a Milford police vehicle by kicking out the rear window while being placed under arrest. As we reported yesterday, a food delivery driver was attacked last Thursday night while making a delivery. According to a Noble Avenue resident, that delivery man from Fuji Restaurant opened her front door around 9 o'clock and asked for help. The man's face was covered in blood. Police arrived and the driver told them he was delivering food when he was attacked and his delivery car and cell phone were stolen. Police later said the driver had been hit in the head with a blunt object. And a Darien woman was hit by a car while crossing West Avenue on Monday morning just before 6 in the morning. According to Sergeant Jeremiah Marin of the Darien Police Department, the woman was walking northbound on Hollow Tree Ridge Road and was in the crosswalk crossing West Avenue. The woman, described as in her 50s, was wearing a variety of reflective gear, including sneakers and outerwear, as well as wearing blinking lights. A car driven by a male resident of New Canaan was traveling southbound on Hollow Tree Ridge Road and struck the woman with the front end of his car. Police said the woman was knocked to the ground and taken to the hospital for minor injuries, and the New Canaan man was given a ticket for failing to yield to a pedestrian. U.S. Senator Chris Murphy held up an oversized photograph Monday night on the floor of the U.S. Senate of two little girls caught in the midst of a presidential executive order that bans travel to the United States from certain countries. The two little girls, ages 5 and 8, could be here in Milford with their father, Murphy said. Instead, they've been banned entry to the country. Murphy demanded that Congress take immediate action to block President Trump's harmful restriction on refugees and immigrants from certain Muslim-majority nations in Africa and the Middle East. The president last Friday afternoon approved a sweeping executive order that suspended entry of all refugees to the United States for 120 days, barred Syrian refugees indefinitely, and blocked entry into the United States for 90 days for citizens of 7 predominantly Muslim countries. That order impacted a Milford family, and earlier this week, Murphy contacted the family of Fadi Khazar, a Milford resident from Syria, to work to reunite Khazar with his family. There's a lot more on that story at milfordmirror.com. And a Norwalk man has been accused of injuring a Stamford police officer and assaulting 2 others outside a downtown restaurant just days after he was caught burglarizing a Cove home. According to the Stamford Advocate, witnesses told officers that 33-year-old Michael Fagan caused a disturbance at Bedford News and Variety, knocking over items in the store around 7 p.m. Monday. Fagan then assaulted a 58-year-old man and his 25-year-old son outside Brickhouse Bar and Grill on Bedford Street. Sergeant George Morin spotted Fagan, who ran when he saw the officer. Officers apprehended him after a brief struggle in an alley behind 74 Bedford Street. The victims identified Fagan as the man who assaulted them. Fagan also injured an officer during the booking process. This was the second time in 3 days that Fagan was arrested in Stamford. He was also arrested early Saturday morning when officers responded to a burglary alarm on Cove Road. Officer Mike Costello was checking the property when he spotted Fagan on the roof of the home. Officers surrounded the house and Fagan was taken into custody after getting down from the roof. Let's throw it over to Frank Cornuto for one final look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. And after all that snow yesterday, we finally get some sunshine. Breezy and chilly today, a high of 43 degrees. Wind gusts that could reach up to 35 miles per hour. On and off periods of sun and clouds throughout the early afternoon before we see mostly clear skies overnight and a low of 26. More of the same tomorrow with mostly sunny skies during the day. Cooler temperatures as the expected high is only 37. Still pretty windy out with gusts between 15 to 25 miles per hour. Clear skies overnight as the temperatures fall into the mid-teens. Friday will be partly sunny with freezing temperatures. Not as windy compared to earlier in the week, but it will feel much colder with a real temp of 20 degrees. Partly cloudy overnight on Friday as we head into a cold Super Bowl weekend that could end with some more snowfall during the big game. That'll do it for the weather. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. We are going to wrap things up here on your coffee break. We're coming up at 12:30. Myself and Josh Fisher chat with State Senator Tony Wong. Of course, Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock, and we will see you for your coffee break tomorrow at 11. Have a great day.